Woohoo! After too many hours to count, I finally reached max level. What? Only another couple months till they raise the level cap by 10, and then I have to level all over again. Yay. So I know I said I wasn't going to keep playing, but I got addicted once again. Yes, I know, like 15 years after the game was released. There's a reason why they call it EverQuest. As I said in other videos, I'm playing on the Phinigel progression server, and they pretty much had double XP for a solid week. So I literally spent more time than I wanted to admit playing this game, but it definitely was a lot of fun, and definitely got that nostalgia overload that I've been talking about. Things really started opening up for me when I did start to group. Luckily, I was competent enough to get groups with my Shadow Knight. I could actually kind of tank. However, pulling is a whole nother thing. I was not prepared for that. I definitely wiped a group or two. So there's a couple moments where I just kind of wanted to get up and quit. Because the majority of the players who are still playing are pretty much people who've been around for a while or the super hardcore. These are the type of people that will, on other servers, this is a true box progression server where, in theory, you can only really have you can play only one account per computer. You can't have software helping you out, having running 20 accounts off one computer. They won't let you do that anymore. And there's also other people on there who, when they're like a raid boss, they have their phone set for 100 text messages to tell people to come play. So let's make no mistake here. This is not for the solo player whatsoever. If you're not willing to group up, you're going to have yourself a bad time. Yeah, there's some solo classes like Enchanter or Necro that's subjective, but I wouldn't recommend it. It's definitely a lot easier to group and level. I found talking to a lot of players who've been around the community that it definitely chilled out in the since about 5 or 10 years ago. It has calmed down a lot, because I find a lot of people take the game way too seriously. This game is very competitive, because there's things like rare spawns to get certain items, raid bosses, they spawn. People will literally just train mobs to clear out zones so they can get the name spawn, or just kind of grief people. You definitely want to watch out who you piss off. Like I said, some people will literally seek you out and ruin your day in game by trading mobs and talking shit to you and stuff like that. I joined a guild and someone was telling a story about how someone got so upset with them, they tracked them down in real life and was posting real information in raids, mom's name and their addresses and stuff. So the game definitely gets pretty intense. Groups will literally camp spawn points or raid bosses for weeks or months on end. Well, that's what a lot of people said back in the day. I'm not sure if it's a lot more chill or not. And then I asked them, well, what about other players who want to experience the content? Aren't you hindering it from them? And literally they said, we don't care. We do it because we can, in the smuggish attitude possible. It's really? But like I said, a lot of them calmed down and said, they wouldn't really do that stuff nowadays, but, they don't regret what they did. And, I totally understand that. But, if you track someone down in real life, you really need to reevaluate your priorities. Because, I get being competitive and all, but, something like that is so excessive and they probably need mental help. And then there's, also the people for when you do try to camp a spawn or you do something wrong, they're like, oh, we got fraps on and we're recording you, we're gonna report you. And these type of people, they really need to leave their parents' basement. Because these people have to be grown men by now. There's not really a new demographic that are really coming up. I really don't like to say stuff like that, but these people have to be sheltered if they think that online pixels are they're entitled to online pixels. But anyways, back to the game side of things. Just expect, especially if you're new, to not get groups and be very frustrated. Like I said, there's a couple of times where I literally just wanted to give up. I could not find a group for the life of me, and there's a ton of people like that. if you're a rogue or something like that, you're going to have a very hard time finding a group, and you will want to give up at times. So if you're not like a tank or a healer or like an enchanter, you're going to have more difficult time. And again, I wish I had a core group of people to play with, because it would be so much fun, and it's so hard now to find people to play with because they've been around the block for a while. So like trying to break in with them is kind of hard, and like I said, a lot of them are like really hardcore, and I definitely could never do that again. But I do hope to get in some raiding here soon. So we'll see how that goes. And again, this I'm talking about a progression server that I'm on right now. On non-progression servers, you can get mercenaries to help you level and stuff, but I'm doing this for the classic feel. So if you're coming to like progression server, yeah, you're gonna have a very hard time. But if you go to any other server, you can buy mercenaries and stuff and run them out, and you could probably solo through the game just fine. And then another thing about this game, it is a huge time sink to get specific gear. Their spawn timers on like mobs that you need to kill. These literally can take anywhere from a few minutes to like days, literally days to spawn. So that's why it's like so competitive, and that's why people get so crazy about things, because just the way it is. So a lot of places are really camped. So it's usually nice to be courteous, but I mean, if someone's there literally for like 2 weeks straight, at some point you gotta be like, come on, man. However, on the Phinigel server, on this progression server, there are instances of zones though. So if there are like, I think 30 or 36 people in a zone, it will spawn another one. But I mean, if there's a rare spawn you want, and there's not enough players, you're literally just gonna be in that one zone competing. Another thing is traveling in the game. I swear I spend more time traveling around than I actually do fighting things, trying to get to mobs, trying to get different places. There are some buffs and stuff that can make you go quicker, and you can kind of get teleported around, but I mean, it usually costs money, or if you're not a specific class, I mean, it's kind of a pain in the butt for sure, not gonna lie. But I mean, really, for all its negativity, it definitely has that like reward formula down in your brain. Like when you level or get a specific piece of gear you want, it feels, like an actual achievement. You feel like there's something inside of you. You feel fulfillment, because unlike other games, like you literally have to like work for things in here. It's not handed to you. Albeit, a progression, non-progression server and stuff, I think you can buy like, heroic characters and stuff and like level up quick. But again, to get that true feeling playing on one of these servers, it's a lot more hardcore. But overall, I mean, if you're courteous and you're willing to work on your skills and stuff, I mean, you're definitely gonna have a fun time. But it is very crazy how quick you get addicted, because at first you're like, oh man, the graphics aren't that good, oh, this kind of stinks. But once you start playing, you're like, this is actually really awesome. But anyways, thanks for watching and just hearing out my thoughts. Take it easy.